Good evening. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel. It's a two-part series, The Week That Was College Football History Review, the 1974 college football season. Tonight we'll be talking about the 1974 major bowl games that were played to conclude this whole season as a whole, the final AP poll, go over that, and etc. Much more. Here we go. 1974 major bowl games. We're going to start with the Liberty Bowl on December 16th. Tennessee beat Maryland 7-3. Struggle went way of Volunteers on special teams play late in the game. Ahead 3-0, Terps tried punt, but center Marion Koprowski snap went overhead of punter Phil Wagenheim, and ball went over to Tennessee at Maryland's 7-yard line. So with Terps defensive tackle Randy White causing havoc, Tennessee needed 3 downs to score winning touchdown. On 11-yard pass from backup quarterback Randy Wallace to wide receiver Larry Silvers. Wallace was shook off White's sack attempt on previous play, had replaced injured starting quarterback Condridge Holloway. Holloway was hurt on an earlier 31-yard field goal attempt, which was blocked by White. The Seavers touchdown catch. Maryland drove to Volunteers' 20-yard line before Tennessee defensive back Ernie Ward picked off a deflected pass by quarterback Bob Avellini. One play earlier, the Maryland Terrapins tailback Lewis Carter had thrown an option pass to wide receiver Frank Russell that was caught just out of end zone. Maryland's earlier field goal 28-yard field effort by kicker Steve Mike Mayer was set up a 63-yard punt returned by defensive back Bob Smith. Now in the Tangerine Bowl, December 21st, Miami, Ohio beat Georgia by a score 21-10. The Redskins dominated from outset as linebacker John Ruda Bush fumble recovery on Georgia's first play from scrimmage was converted quickly to a 1-yard touchdown run by fullback Rob Carpenter. Bulldogs answered with scoring drive, ended with a 20-yard field goal by kicker Alex Jet. But then Miami drove 78 yards for commanding 14-3 lead, first quarter lead, as quarterback Sherman Smith threw a 7-yard touchdown pass to tight end Ricky Taylor. Ruda Bush was up to old tricks in the second quarter to further deflate Georgia's chances, recovering another fumble deep in Georgia territory. Smith scored on an 8-yard keeper after the Redskins took over on the 22-yard line. The Bulldogs managed a 41-yard drive for a touchdown midway through the third quarter, but damage was already done by the underrated Miami, Ohio. Carpenter rushed for 114 yards, Smith 90 yards, while quarterback Matt Robinson threw for 190 yards for 4 Bulldogs. Now, the victory over high-profile program earned eventual 10th place ranking in the AP poll from Miami, Ohio. In the Bluebonnet Bowl on December 23rd, Houston beat Houston and North Carolina State. This matchup resulted in a 31-31 tie. Game would explode in the second half after North Carolina State held a 10-3 lead at the first 30 minutes. Wolfpack's 17-10 advantage entering the fourth quarter was erased by a 3-touchdown explosion by Houston, with a go-ahead score coming out a 73-yard pass from quarterback Bubba McGallion to wide receiver Eddie Foster. Soon after Foster's touchdown, Houston's safety Joe Russ returned interception 43 yards to set up a 5-yard touchdown run by fullback John Huesman. Had 134 yards, 21 carries, 2 touchdowns. So Cougars led by 14 points with less than 8 minutes remaining. Wolfpack began 70-yard march to Izzo. Tailback Tommy Lucky's 9-yard scoring run. Cool State within 31-23 with incomplete pass on 2-point conversion, splitting victory and ambitions. Wolfpack then recovered onside kickoff with center Louis Okamo pouncing on a loose ball on Houston's 47-yard line. Quarterback Dave Bucky threw for 200 yards, led tying drive capped by his 1-yard keeper. Clutch NC State fullback Stan Fritz rushed for tying 2-point conversion. Next, Fiesta Bowl, December 28th, Oklahoma State beat Brigham Young 16-6. The Cougars disliked the result of their first ever bowl trip, especially after crushing hit by Oklahoma State defensive tackle Phil Dokes. Dislocated quarterback Gary Shady's shoulder late in the first quarter. BYU led 3-0 at that time, and would drive in the second score behind Shady. He's the second-ranked passer. The Cowboys rallied with help from 3 interceptions thrown by BYU replacement quarterback Mark Giles. Halfback Kenny Walker, 12-yard touchdown run in the second quarter, proved to be the game winner. It coming after interception by Cowboys defensive end Tony Buck. Oklahoma State, piled on double indemnity insurance. 42-yard field by kicker Abby Daigle. 40-yard swing pass from wingback Leonard Thompson to wide receiver Gerald Bain in the second half. Interestingly, Cowboys had ball in Cougars territory only once in the first half. After Buck intercepted the 27-yard line. Brigham Young defense continued strong play in the third quarter, but thwarted two Cowboys scoring chances, but strong stops within their 10-yard line. The Cougars linebacker Larry Carr, defensive tackle Wayne Baker, halted quarterback Charlie Weatherby on fourth down at BYU 2-yard line to end the first chance. Quarterback Mike Russell stopped quarterback Jimmy Derrick on fourth down on 8-yard line to stop another. The Cougars saw their 7-game winning streak snap despite having outgained Pokes 301 to 221 yards. Now, Sun Bowl, December 28th, Mississippi State beat North Carolina 26-24. The Bulldogs edged North Carolina by unleashing an awesome rush game, bulldozing Waits 455 yards rushing and 25 first downs. Mississippi State running back Walter Packer quietly led SEC in rushing with 994 yards, made noise in El Paso with the game record 183 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Now, Tar Heels hung tough 402 yards of their own and took 24-20 lead in fourth quarter on 26-yard field goal by kicker Ellis Alexander. It was time for game's fourth and final lead change as quarterback Rocky Felker drove Bulldogs to winning 30-yard touchdown run by tailback running back Terry Vetrano, who rushed for 164 yards and grabbed game MVP. Felker had biggest carry of the night, converting 4th and 2 on a winning drive with a 15-yard run, following a block of fullback James Smith to North Carolina 10-yard line. Tigers had final drive ending. Tailback Mike Vaught leading them to midfield before being halted on 4th and 1 stand at only 48-yard line. The Bulldogs ran out clock for first bowl victory for 11 years. North Carolina tailback James Patterson had 84 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns rushing, returned second half kickoff for 45 yards, set up his almost 6-yard scoring sweep for a brief 14-10 lead. Meanwhile, Peace Bowl. December 28th, this matchup resulted in a 6-6 tie between Vanderbilt and Texas Tech. Texas Tech needed a 35-yard field goal by kicker Brian Hall with 2:21 left to tie the game when they should have won long before. Red Raiders rushed for 306 yards to control matters between 20-yard lines, but were unable to reach the end zone. Best chance to score a touchdown occurred late in the first half when Red Raiders marched to the 1-yard line. The Vandy's goal line defense twice stopped. Tailback Larry Isaac, who had 101 yards rushing, named game's outstanding offensive player. Then on third down, quarterback Tommy Donovan was cut down and rolled out as clock expired. Vanderbilt led 3-0 at halftime on a 31-yard field goal by kicker Mark Adams. Red Raiders tied the game 3-3 in the third quarter on Hall's 26-yard field goal. But had next scoring attempt died, the blocked field goal by Burley Commodores freshman defensive tackle Dennis Harrison. The tie was soon broken as Red Raiders Donovan and Isaac fumbled away, pitch out deep in their own territory to set up a 26-yard field goal by Adams. Backs against the wall, Texas Tech answered with wide receiver Lawrence Williams' 54-yard kickoff return to the Vanderbilt 40-yard line, which led to Hall's tying field goal. Tech fullback Cliff Hoskins ran for 116 yards while Vandy was led by halfback Jamie O'Rourke. Jamie O'Rourke. 76 yards. In the Gator Bowl, December 30th, Auburn beat Texas 27-3. Once Longhorns fell behind, they were in trouble as playing catch-up was not their forte. As the Tigers of Auburn scored 2 quick touchdowns on quarterback Phil Garges, who capped the opening drive with a 7-yard touchdown pass to wingback Ed Butler. And after recovery of Texas fumble led to a quick drive to 2-yard touchdown run by tailback Mitzi Jackson. Garges and Butler connected on another scoring pass, 14 yards in the second half. Best chance for Steers comeback when they trailed 16-3 late in the second quarter. Died on 4th down keeper and quarterback Marty Akins slipped down Auburn 10-yard line for loss of 1 yard. Atkins appeared to have had the opening for touchdown. Sloppy game. Each team had 7 turnovers. Like Longhorns, Auburn scored 20 points off Texas largest. In the Sugar Bowl, Nebraska beat Florida 13-10, trailing 10-0 entering the fourth quarter partly because of 5 turnovers. Cornhuskers needed 3 scores to pull out their 6th straight bowl victory. Fullback Tony Davis contributed hard run after hard run, totaling for 17 catches, 126 yards. The I-back Monte Anthony pulled Nebraska within 10-7 on a 2-yard touchdown run early in the fourth quarter, capping a 99-yard drive that began after a tremendous goal line stand. Davis then set up kicker Mike Coyle's 2 field goals, second coming from 30 yards out with 146 remaining. Davis broke free for a 40-yard run, a winning drive to set up field goal. The Gators had taken a 10-0 lead in the first half on a 21-yard run by freshman tailback Tony Green, 40-yard field goal by kicker David Posey, then looked to put a game away late in the third quarter after interception by defensive back Alvin Cohens set up 33-yard drive to Nebraska's 1-yard line. The Huskers' defense grimly held with quarterback Jim Burrows stopping tailback James Richards on fourth down sweep. Nebraska suddenly bench star quarterback David Humm, who had thrown 4 interceptions, turning instead to quarterback Terry Luck, who whipped his team 99 yards for momentum, swinging touchdown by Anthony. Huskers tied Georgia Tech for the longest postseason winning streak to date. The Cotton Bowl, Penn State beat Baylor 41-20. Cinderella Baylor squad in no way looked overmatched in the first half. It swayed spirited defensive play, had 84-yard march for Scobie scored, 4-yard touchdown run by halfback Steve Beard, who had 84 yards on 21 carries. Nick Lyons dominated play for the rest of the first half, but could only manage 25-yard field goal by kicker Chris Ball. Penn State did better with opening drive of the second half, needing only 9 plays to travel 80 yards with fullback Tom Donchez by 116 yards and 26 carries, taking it 1 yard for 10-7 lead. The Bears took advantage of good field position late in the third quarter to regain lead as quarterback Neil Jeffrey found wide receiver Ricky Thompson for 35 yards scoring pass. It took State quarterback Tom Schumann less than a minute before striking back, technically freshman wingback Jimmy Salafalo. 49-yard touchdown pass for 17-14 lead. Early in the fourth quarter, Cephalo scored on a 3-yard run, and Penn State, which would set a Cotton Bowl record for points, started to pour it on. Barr kicked another field goal. Schumann turned defensive back Mike Davis's interception to an 18-yard drive. He capped it with a 2-yard touchdown run. So quarterback Mark Jackson had led final 7-yard Baylor touchdown drive, but Penn State defensive back Joe Jackson returned an onside kick 50 yards to close scoring. It was the game of the year in the Rose Bowl between Southern California and Ohio State, where Southern California beat Ohio State 18-17. Quarterback Pat Hayden had some terrific senior year. Fresh off being named Rhodes Scholar, Hayden produced Rose Bowl's final 8 points on touchdown pass, 2-point conversion pass, as Trojans claimed a UPI national title. Trailing by 7 after a brilliant Ohio State drive for go-ahead touchdown and subsequent field goal following Hayden's fumble, Southern California flew upfield behind their heady quarterback. Hayden completed a drive with a 38-yard touchdown pass to longtime target wide receiver J.K. McKay, who had 104 yards receiving on 5 catches. Then facing stiff Bucks pass rush, Hayden rolled right through winning conversion pass to wide receiver Shelton Diggs, out of same formation that had produced Trojans' first touchdown. The game was supposed to be showcased for Ohio State tailback Archie Griffin, who had 75 yards rushing, 20 carries, and 2 lost fumbles, and USC tailback Anthony Davis. Players chosen first and second in Heisman balloting, but neither tailback dominated thanks to punishing defenses and their own injuries. Trojans trailed 7-3 entering the fourth quarter, but went on march without Davis out with a Bruce Sterman ribs after gaining 67 yards in the first half. Big runs by tailback Alan Carter and fullback Dave Farmer brought USC to 9-yard line, and Hayden hit tailback tight end Jim Abradovich for touchdown, beating All-American defensive back Neil Cozy, who had 2 interceptions earlier. Buckeyes were not through, despite having been outgained by more than 200 yards at the time of Abradovich's touchdown. Quarterback Cornelius Green, nifty 24-yard scramble, his 22-yard dump-off pass to Griffin propelled Buckeyes into Trojan country. Drive produced Green's 3-yard touchdown run. for a 14-10 edge. Ohio State kicker Tom Cleveland stretched the lead 17-10 on a 34-yard field goal, but when it came time for his even bigger boot at game's end, sacked by Troy defensive tackle Gary Jeter, forced Buckeyes to attempt a 62-yard field goal by punter kicker Tom Scalandini, which was short. Ohio State coach Woody Hayes was criticized for striking linebacker Arnie Jones in the chest during USC's winning drive. Finally, in the Orange Bowl, Notre Dame beat Alabama 13-11. Retiring Notre Dame coach Ira Pasegan went out winner in his last nail-biter. Crimson Tide cracked first, losing fumble on punt returned by halfback Willie Shelby deep in their own territory, which Irish converted into a 4-yard touchdown run by fullback Wayne Bullock. That made it 7-0 in the first quarter. Traditional 77-yard drive in the second quarter was capped by a 9-yard touchdown run by halfback Mark McLean. So Notre Dame was up 13-0 after a missed conversion kick. The Crimson Tide of Alabama closed the first half by scoring on a 21-yard field goal by kicker Dan Ridgway. But because they trailed throughout, the Tide was forced to attempt uncharacteristic 29 passes. Notre Dame kept Bama out of end zone until the fourth quarter, when quarterback Richard Todd threw 48-yard scoring pass to wide receiver Rush Shamman. After a successful two-point conversion to tight end George Pugh, trim margin to 13-11. Alabama opponent forced the punt, had ball for last drive from own 38-yard line. After two completions, moved ball into Notre Dame territory. Irish cornerback Reggie Barnett intercepted past the end threat. The Fighting Irish Notre Dame defense had something to prove after 55 points had been surrendered to USC. They forced 5 fumbles and grabbed 2 interceptions while holding Todd's wishbone runs to only 62 yards. This loss was 8th straight for Bama in bowl games. Surprising flaw on Coach Bear Bryant's ledger. So it includes a look at the bowl games, the major bowl games that were played on during the next 74 season. So look at the AP poll, the final AP poll of January 2nd. Number 20 was Tennessee. Number 19, Houston. That's a tie for the 17th spot, 15 Texas and Mississippi State, Texas A&M. 16, Florida. 15, Baylor. 14, Maryland. 13, 12, Michigan State. 11, North Carolina State. The top 10 round out is this: Miami, Ohio. 9, Nebraska. 8, Auburn. 7, Penn State. 6, Notre Dame. 5, Alabama. Top 4 round out is this: Ohio State number 4, Michigan number 3, number 2, Southern California, number 1, Oklahoma. The next 74 top performance formula: number 1 was Oklahoma. The top opponents records: number 1 was Tennessee. (1974) out of conference records was Southeastern Conference. They had a 39-11 and 3 record. Southeastern Conference. They were number 1 with a percentage of 7.642, 3-3-1 in the bowl season. 1974 individual statistical leaders. The rushing yards. Archie Griffin led the nation in rushing yards with 236 attempts, 1,620 yards, 6.9 average. Passing yards. Steve Bukowski led the nation in passing in California. Steve Bukowski. 182 completions, 325 attempts, through 2,580 yards, 56 completion percentage. Receiving yards. William Miller, Colorado State, was number 1 with 53 catches, 1,193 yards. The 1974 consensus All-American team, here it is. At wide receiver, Pete DeMuro, Notre Dame. Tight end, Benny Cunningham, Clemson. Tackle, Kurt Schumacher, Ohio State. Marvin Crenshaw, Nebraska. The guards, Ken Huff, North Carolina. John Roche, Oklahoma. Jerry DiNardo, Notre Dame. The center, Steve Meyer, Ohio State. Quarterback, Steve Barkowski, California. Running backs, Archie Griffin, Ohio State. Joe Washington, Oklahoma. Anthony Davis, Southern California. The defense, defensive line, Randy White, Maryland, Mike Hartenstein, Penn State, Pat Donovan, Stanford, Jimmy Webb, Mississippi State, and Leroy Cook, Alabama. The middle guards were Reuben Carter, Miami, and Louis Coucher, Southern Methodist. The linebackers, Rod Short, Oklahoma, Richard Wood, Southern California, Ken Burnich, Auburn, and Woodrow Lowe, Alabama. The defensive backfield, Dave Brown, Michigan, Pat Thomas, Texas A&M, and John Provost, Holy Cross. 1974 Heisman Trophy vote. The top vote getter was Archie Griffin Jr., tailback, Ohio State, 1,920. Second in the Heisman Trophy vote, behind Archie Griffin, was the top vote getter for the Heisman. It was Anthony Davis, senior tailback, Southern California, 819 votes. Joe Washington, junior halfback, Oklahoma, 661 votes. Tom Clements, senior quarterback, Notre Dame, 244. David Holmes, senior quarterback, Nebraska, 210. Other major award winners for 1974 college football season: Steve Jochum, senior quarterback of Temple, won the Maxwell Player of the Year award. Walter Camp, Player of the Year. Anthony Davis, senior tailback, Southern California. Outland Lineman Trophy winner was Randy White, senior defensive tackle, Maryland. Also, Randy White won the Lombardi for the best lineman. Randy White, senior defensive tackle, Maryland. And the Coach of the Year, AFCA Coach of the Year, was Grant Teeth, Baylor. So that includes a look at the conclusion of the 1974 college football season. For 1974, the major bowl games that was talked about, and etc., and much more that I talked about. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Tomorrow I'll do the overview of the 1975 college football season, and including week 1 of the college football season, the preseason poll, and much more to come. To start the new season, look at the recap of the 1975 college football season and its overview. Until then, like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. Do a video this matter tomorrow. Until then, talk to you soon.